Let's see. 100 action gauge at the end of turn, a 20% skill damage boost. I mean, it's good, and it fits a rare archetype, but I don't think it's to... sleep. Well, this is gonna be good. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Disgaea RPG. Today we'll talk about the Platinum unit for the Witch and the 100 Knight collab, Nezaria. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Starting with Nezaria's abilities. Her Any 0 gives the party a 14% buff to int, resistance, and HP. Her Any 1 grants a 35% critical damage buff for one turn to the ally with the highest int when her turn ends. Her Any 5 gives 100 action gauge when her turn ends if there are 3 or more surviving allies. And her Any 7 boosts the party's skill damage by 20% when there are 2 or more magical forte allies. For skills, her Wall of Rhyme is a medium-cost AoE attack that buffs the party's int and resistance by 25% and critical damage for one ally by 20% for 2 turns. This attack also inflicts sleep to all enemies. Her Bewitching Mist is another medium-cost AoE attack that reduces the attack and int of all enemies by 45%, reduces their speed by 20%, and inflicts sleep. And her Frozen Thunder Retribution is a medium-cost single-target attack that reduces the attack and resistance by 50% for 5 turns, removes the target's buffs, and inflicts sleep as well as paralysis. For spells, she has Mega Magic Boost, Mega Speed Boost, and Mega Enfeeble. As a debuffer, you'll probably want to use her skills over her spells, but having Mega Magic Boost could be useful in certain situations. Nezaria is another magical monster supporter, one with action gauge manipulation. These kind of units are somewhat rare, so if you're into magical monster teams and or PvP, then try your luck on her banner. The main appeal of her kit are her abilities for challenging content, and for PvP are the ailments she inflicts on all enemies. For raids and sparse space, her Frozen Thunder Retribution is probably her most important skill. The debuffs it inflicts last for 5 turns. Since it's a wind element attack, it can synergize on wind element teams, and the extra utility it provides with the buff removals and ailments is just superb. For PvP, Wall of Rhyme and Bewitching Mist are your go-to. You want to make Nezaria as fast as you can so that she's able to inflict sleep on the enemy supporters before they buff the main attacker, or worst, Nisa. All of her abilities are pretty good, but her Any 7 is something that catches my attention. Damage boosting abilities have become more common, but she gives a 20% skill damage boost, and its activation condition is easy to fulfill. So, who should you pair her with? She may be a supporter, but she isn't as flexible as Rubens. Nezaria is meant to be used in an in-team, along with other magical monsters. So my first recommendation is Beach Desco. She's a good supporter if you decide to go with multiple attackers, as she gives a party-wide int buff. Her abilities benefit monster allies, so if you want to build a pure int monster team, try adding her to your team. Saint Edna is an all badass unit, which makes her a sub-attacker, but what's important about her are her SP cost reduction for the party, her 1000 action gauge AoE attack which halves buffs, and her revive skill. Even if she's outdated, she can be a nuisance if you put her on the right team. If you're running a queen team, Tria is a viable option. She's a queen supporter which has good buffs, SP cost reduction, and is able to paralyze the enemy. If you prefer to go the rook or king route, then Santa Licerota is what you need. She has good buffs and debuffs, gives SP to the party, and she also has action gauge manipulation. Metalia comes on the same collab as Nezaria, and she's also a debuffer with buffing capabilities. She has her own damage boosting ability as well as offensive buffs for one ally, but the problem with her is that you'll have 2 units which are mainly debuffers, so the rest of your team should provide what's missing on the buff department. Depending on the rest of your team, you may use any elemental supporters that you need, but water and wind synergize with Nezaria. For those elements, you want to use either Maid Salvatores, Bright Rosalind, or Alexander. There aren't any particular attackers that pair well with her, so you may use any int attacker or any physical attacker that calculates damage with the target's lowest defensive stat. But if you want to factor in the element synergy, then try using Lamington, Crown Valvatoris, or Asagi Ghost. And that's it guys. Usually, I don't review Platinum units because A. they can be obtained in any point on time, and B, they aren't as useful as badass units or gorgeous units. But Nezaria is a special case. She's exclusive because she is a collab unit, and even with her rerun, you won't have many chances to get her, and most importantly, she has good utility on her kit while fitting in one of the least diverse archetypes. The best part is that she isn't restrictive, so you can use her on a physical team if you want, as a debuffer with action gauge manipulation, or in a humanoid in-team. But what do you think? Is she worth rolling for? Or is she a skip? Do you think she's meta on PvP? Is she another piece to make the Queen team absolutely broken? Let me know in the comments. See ya!